to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to achieve this very glowy and natural look using only drugstore products. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I am in love with drugstore products. I've been using them for a long time, and there's also a lot of drugstore products that I like to include in my normal makeup routine. So I wanted to take this video just to show them to you guys. I also asked you guys on Instagram a while back to let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see from me on YouTube, and a lot of you said a drugstore makeup tutorial or more affordable makeup products that I love and that I like to use. So I've brought this video out to you guys. If there's any other videos that you'd like to see from me, please let me know. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. So first I'm going to be starting off by clipping my hair back, and then we're gonna go straight into foundation. And for foundation I'm gonna be using the NYX Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation in the shade Vanilla. I like to first apply it on my hand, and then I'm going to be taking a beauty blender to blend it out. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of the product and then just start blending it into the skin. And when I'm doing more of a natural look, I do like to use a beauty blender just so it's easier to blend in and it's a little bit faster than using a brush. And I really like this foundation because you can build it up as much as you want, and it's also glowy, so it's kind of nice when you're doing more of a natural look. And this is my winter shade, so it is a little bit lighter than the rest of my body right now, but I'll just use a little bit of bronzer just to kind of even it out a little bit. And when I'm blending, I always avoid the eyes just so I'm not applying concealer on top of foundation and it doesn't look too cakey. Alright, and now that everything is blended out, we're going to be moving to concealer. And I'm going to be using two concealers. One of them is the True Skin High Color Concealer from Catrice, and I'm going to use that on my skin just to kind of hide those little spots that I have currently. And you want to blend it out lightly just to make sure that you're not over blending and removing the foundation. Alright, and then under the eyes I'm going to be using the Peripera Double Longwear Cover Concealer in the shade number 2 Natural Beige. And I got this from YesStyle and I really like to use it. And if you guys have seen my last video, you know that usually I do like to take the concealer first on my hand. But when I don't have that much time or want to do a quick look, I'll just apply it straight to my under eyes and then just blend it out. And I love the way this concealer brightens your under eyes, and it's one of my favorite concealers. And then with whatever is left on the beauty blender, I like to just take it down my nose just to kind of give it a little bit more of a shape. And now we're going to be moving on to bronzer, and I'm going to be using the Maybelline Bronzing and Contour Powder in Deep Cool 300. And I like to take it with a little angled brush just so it's easier to kind of blend in. And then I just like to start on my cheekbones. And I do like to place my bronzer a little bit higher up than usual, so I wouldn't go underneath my cheekbone. I'll just kind of go a little bit on top of it, just so it kind of gives you a more lifted look. And again, when I'm doing something a little bit quicker where I don't have that much time to do my makeup, I do like to skip the cream contour. But on days where I want to do something a little bit more glam or I have more time to get ready, that's a step that I usually never miss. And if you want to see my full makeup tutorial with all the steps included, I have my everyday makeup routine up on my channel. I'm going to be taking the Refer 15 brush, and it looks just like this, just like a normal blending brush. And the brush that I used for my contour was from the Morphe MUA collection, and I really recommend the Morphe MUA collection because it has every brush that you would need, and it's a very good like starter set. And so now I'm going to take a little bit of the bronzer, and then I'm just going to very lightly just contour my nose. I like to kind of just do a little line on the sides of my nose connecting to my eyebrows, and then just contour the tip of the nose. And now we're gonna move on to blush, and then I'm just going to kind of clean up the nose contour. And for blush, I'm gonna be using the Stylenanda Mood Recipe Face Blush in the shade Rose Beige. And I've been really liking to use Korean makeup lately. I feel like the quality is so good and it's so affordable as well. Alright, so I'm gonna be taking it with the Refer number 5 brush, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of product and then just apply it to the skin. And I love the shade of this blush. I feel like it's the perfect kind of very muted pink. And then I'm gonna just take a little bit more on the other side, just like so. And since it is a powder brush, I will have to put a little bit of highlighter on top just to bring me that glow back. but I have a really good highlighter that I like to use from Catrice, More Than Glow highlighter. And I also really like the Judy Doll highlighting powder, which looks just like this. This one's definitely a little bit more glittery and the other one's a little bit more fine. So depending on what kind of highlighter you like, both are really nice options. This one, as you can see, is a little bit more fine and not so glittery. Although this is more of a golden shade. And I'm gonna be taking the Refer number 2 brush and then just applying a bit on my nose and then on my bridge. And then I'm gonna put a little bit underneath my eyebrows. And now I'm gonna be taking the Kaleidos Precision Highlighter Brush H3. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that highlighter again. And then just adding it to the cheeks. And you want to be careful because it's very pigmented. And I'm just going to be applying a little bit more blush on top just to kind of blend out the highlighter a little bit better, because I don't want it to kind of look too much like a little block of highlighter on the cheek. And now I'm going to be moving on to eyebrows. And I already have the Got To Be Glued Water Resisting Spiking Gel in level 6 on my eyebrows. And it's something that I like to do before I start my makeup. If you guys want a tutorial on that, let me know. And so I'm taking a little cotton pad with the Garnier Micellar Water. And I'm just taking the tiniest little bit on the cotton pad. And then I'm just going to lightly just go over my brows, just to remove that tiny little bit of foundation that gets on them. Alright, and I'm going to be taking the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen, and I'm just going to very lightly just add hairs where I'm missing them, just to make my eyebrows look a little bit fuller. I'm going to moving on to the next step, and I'm first going to be curling my eyelashes, and I like to use this eyelash curler that I just got from the supermarket. I feel like you just really want to get something that has this little band here, and then all of them work quite similarly. That I'm kind of pressing down and then letting go and pressing again, so your eyelashes have more of a curl and they don't just stick straight up, and they look just like that. And I'm going to be doing the other side as well. And now we're going to be moving on to the mascara, and I'm going to be using the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. In one of my first ever makeup tutorials on YouTube, I remember I used this one and a lot of you liked it as well, so I wanted to bring this back for this tutorial as well. Alright, so now we're gonna do the other side and ignore this little bit of mascara that I got there. I'm going to move on to powder, and I'm going to be using another product that I've been using for a long time. It's the Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder, and I like to just dip it into the product and take the excess off in my hand and then just start applying it to the skin. And before we do powder underneath the eyes, I'm just going to go ahead and take a little bit more bronzer and just add it to the sides here. I'm just kind of blending the powder in with the bronzer. And now we're gonna take my beauty blender, just blend out the eyes so they don't crease up. And then we're gonna go in with the powder. And then as a final step, I like to take the Refer 15 brush with a little bit of the powder and then just blending in that contour that we did earlier, just to make sure that we don't have any harsh lines. And then sometimes when I apply powder, it takes off a little bit of the blush. So I'm taking the blush brush without any blush on it, and I'm just slightly going to just kind of blend it out. So I again take the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen, and I like to just go over my moles. Again, I don't do this every single time, and it makes it look like your skin is peeking through the makeup, which I like. Alright, and now before moving on to lips, I'm going to take a little cotton bud. I'm going to take it again with the same micellar water, and I'm just going to be removing the mascara that's on my eyelids. And now we're going to be moving on to my lips. This is the NYX Lip Pencil in the shade Sandstorm, and this is the NYX Lip Pencil in Peekaboo Neutral. This is more of a brownie, more neutral shade. This is more of a pinky shade. And I like to just start by overlining my lips. And I like to just kind of connect my cupid's bow to make my lips look a little bit more plump. And this is Peekaboo Neutral. And then I want to show you the difference with Sandstorm because I really like these both. It just kind of depends on what you prefer. And they're very similar. This one's just a little bit darker and more kind of brown. This one's more on the pinky side. And this one's really similar to the pinky brown Huda Beauty lip liner, the Lip Contour 2.0. And then I'm gonna be taking the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream. And as you can see, I really like NYX lip products. I feel like they are so affordable but so good. And this is, by the way, the Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade London. And I really like this one, but today I'm going to be using the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade 003 Moon, I believe. Yeah. And you do want to wait a little bit for it to dry. And this lip gloss really reminds me of the Fenty Gloss Bomb. So I feel like there are so many drugstore products that are slept on just because they are drugstore products. So I really recommend for you guys to try these products and let me know what you guys think. Just like so. And then that is it for the makeup tutorial. As I said before, if you guys are looking for affordable or really good drugstore products, I really recommend to try these products out. It's something that I use in my everyday makeup as well. There's a lot of products that if you go to my past videos, you see that they're from the drugstore and they're really good. So again, super recommend them. They are amazing products. So now I'm just going to be taking the little clips off of my hair. And then that is it for the final look. Let me know in the comments if there are any other drugstore products that you guys love. I have so many more drugstore recommendations. If you guys want another makeup tutorial like this where I show you my favorite drugstore products, please let me know and I can definitely get that out to you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow me on my socials and I hope to see you in my next video.